Well, he's said it all, so I don't have to actually say much more. I'm Piet Gelnys. I'm from a division BMS System Consultancy, a part of the industrial sector. And we got together, Suleiman and myself and a number of the guys, and we were asked by Sasol to have a look at a problem that they were experiencing. And one button.
Down.
That one. Yeah, that's it. I wonder you went up as well. Okay. They were experiencing two problems. One was that we were facing a problem with the gas line, and things were being stripped off on the gas line itself, which is approximately 3,000 kilometers. And of course, we then had a problem with Ecodastra, where explosives were disappearing not only at the factory side, but also from once they were delivered to the mine itself. And we workshopped this for quite a few months, and we came up with quite some very nice solutions which we put forward to the client. We looked at, of course, here's a whole bag, or let's say a basket full of solutions. That's why I've also asked Arno from our office to take it further, where we'll go into more depth as far as the sensing or track and tracing devices are concerned. But my side of things, I'm just going to touch on what Suleiman was also talking about just now, where we looked at the gas line and we said, you know, that's the protective layer. And I think we all know that you work in security, you always look in layers. Now, we're all used to the so-called protective layer. And that's when we decided to make a difference and move it out to a preventative layer. Now, if you're looking at 3,000 kilometers, that's quite a challenge to form a predictive layer. So and it's the only way that you can have a look at encroachment, for example, because that's your biggest problem at a line that length, especially you're now working South Africa and you're working Mozambique. So you had to come up with a solution so we can predict a lot of things. Now, the only way we could do that is a combination of a whole bag full of technology. And we looked at, of course, if you look at there's a word, say, PUC, which Aaron is going to talk about, is where we actually put little devices onto items which they would steal on these pipelines that we can track and trace. Because it's one thing, yes, we want to know that things are stolen, but we must be able to track and trace those devices as well. Because normally, when I did a project in Tswana as well, it's one thing to catch a guy stealing the copper. He's doing it to actually put some food on the table. We want to actually catch the guys that are buying the copper. So it's a slightly different approach that we are following in this case as well. And of course, because it's such a long distance, we need to now involve stuff like radar. We have to start looking at thermal radar devices and little devices like that. And also what we've also done is we've put in cell phone devices or cell phone detection devices. All thieves walk around with cell phones with them. That's their method of communication. And that is exactly what we go and look for. We look for a cell phone that's not supposed to be in that area. I mean, the farmers, the farm workers, everybody have cell phones, but we can discriminate between the enemies and the good guys, or the farmer. So those are little devices that we have, that we are using all over the show. And at the end of the day, you know, Suleiman has gone through all these things, so I'm not going to tell you the same story again. But we decided, look, we have to take all this stuff somewhere. So you have to take this to a PSIM system somewhere that will gather all the information and start making intelligent decisions. And that is, of course, what we did there. We said, okay, let's look at Sasol Secunda, for example, or Sasol, any one of the Sasol divisions. We can take that through to a central control room. Because what we find is they've got little control rooms all over the show. And the guys don't really talk to one another. And if we can achieve by just getting that together, then we can achieve a lot. Why do we want them together? We want to gather the information from all the different aspects within Sasol, as far as the field devices are concerned. Because once we've done that, we can actually start making intelligent decisions as far as AI is concerned. I think we've all seen the movies on artificial intelligence and everything else. It's no longer a movie, it's now reality. So that's why we're pulling all that information across. On the explosive side, that was quite a challenge as well. We looked at the explosives and we had to find solutions. Now, one of the biggest problems they have is that boxes are stolen. I think we've all seen it on Carte Blanche, where a truck is stopped and they would remove certain boxes out of the actual trucks themselves. Now that is the reality. It's also happening within Sasol. And so in this case we said, okay, let's track the actual box, but we want to geofence the box. That means everything inside the box itself, and the boxes within the container. And that's exactly what we will be using to do our POC now. And that all goes through to our PSIM system, which is supplied by Sekima, or Chase product. What we're also looking at is going even to a nanopuck size, which is a much smaller product, which we would be putting inside the actual explosive devices, the boxes themselves, and that we can also track and trace. And we can also geofence those particular devices, whether it's using the bigger device, which is a puck device. Within a 30-kilometer radius, we can actually see exactly where those devices are. What is also quite nice, if we can also geofence all the people within that area. I mean, just imagine if we can geofence everybody at Secunda when they have their shutdowns. That's exactly what we were planning, to use the same technology on other areas as well, to track and trace people. And that's me. Arno will tell you a little bit more about the pucks and stuff later on with his presentation. That's it. Thank you.